Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog.
Who am I? I need to find the answer to that myself. The only clues I have are the mystical Chaos Emeralds. I have to find them. I found the doctor and followed him into an eerie castle. There was a showdown between me and one of the doctor's giant robots. I defeated it and took the fourth Chaos Emerald. There are 3 more to go. Sorry, Doctor, but I can't waste any more time. What's going on with me? I can't get these images out of my mind. Those black creatures. How do they know me? Who was I before this? What?
Shadow, you seem troubled.
You!
Look.
That's the...
Yes, that's right. The space colony Ark. 50 years ago.
The Ark? 50 years ago? That's me.
That's right. This will remind you what the humans did to you. Never forget that horrifying image.
So before we head into our next stage, I want to talk about this previous FMV cutscene we just watched. As you're seeing the cutscene play out now here, and things look slightly different. Instead of this ominous red hue in the background, the forest here is a nice clear skies, and you can see the sun making the sky nice and rich blue, but why is it that this cutscene looks different this time around compared to earlier here? Well, that's simply because depending on what level you come into the Doom from, that's going to dictate how this said FMV starts out. So if you're coming into the Doom from the pathway we were following here from Cryptic Castle, that's when you get the red hue in the background, making it look a lot more ominous in this said FMV cutscene. But if you're coming into the Doom from Prison Island's dark mission, then you get a nice clear sky and everything looks perfectly fine on the said planet here at Shadows On. So it's a little bit of a difference depending on whatever level you choose to come into the Doom from. There are also other little differences in this cutscene, nothing really too major. It's more because they had to essentially render out this FMV 2 different times to get this little difference in the very beginning of this one specific FMV cutscene. So lighting is a little bit different between the 2 different versions of the Cryptic Castle or the Prison Island version going into the Doom. It's a very, very small nuance that you may not even notice, but let's go ahead and go into the past, all the way back 50 years ago, onto the Ark with Stage 4, the Doom.
Shadow, I just can't leave everyone else behind. Please, you need to rescue the people being held by the gun soldiers in the laboratory.
So we could help you out there, Maria, but I gotta get you out of here. It's the safest thing for me to do.
Remember, you were attacked by the humans here. You know what you must do. Finish them all.
I could finish the humans off, but I am still wanting to leave Doom, and that is my option, so I'm going to pick it. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be hitting all the fires to put them out, as that will build up our hero gauge. And by building up the hero gauge, we'll be able to use Chaos Control to zoom through this level at high speeds, which also lets us skip certain sections, which is going to be really helpful. Here I'm actually going to use my triangle jump, as Shadow's talking about here, to jump off these monitors. It'll get me all the way over to the other side of the room, which gives us a lot of guns, but also a shadow box to give me my egg vacuum gun. You know how I feel about the egg vacuum gun, I like it. So I'm gonna use it. So with this, let's go ahead and grab this TNT, throw it at the wall, and continue moving our way forward. Now, you can suck up the fires I just demonstrated here, but it won't be helpful in any way, as you will just be sucking up the fire and not putting it out. So you're better off actually using your spin attack here, or your spin dash I should say, to make your way forward in the said level, putting out the fires in the process. Gonna ride this platform up, as up here inside of these crates, we got ourselves some grenade launchers, but I want to take this TNT, jump down here, throw it at this wall, and this opens up a shortcut in the level to continue on forward, which is really helpful for our sake. So we'll just take this shortcut and get a move on. Be very careful here not to get hit by anything. Gonna jump here, see if I can use anything with the vacuum gun. Seems like that's not an option. I do see a platform up above, but it's just out of my reach, so we're gonna just continue moving our way forward here. But we got gun soldiers, so suck them out. Now, unfortunately, right now, I can't put out any fires to build up my hero gauge because I have my dark gauge all filled, so I can do this instead to attack things all around me. This will also put out the fire, so do keep this in mind if you are wanting to build up your hero gauge, as doing this is not the most advantageous thing for us to speedrun through the said level. It's only really a detriment if you want to be 100% honest here. So let's just be very careful. I'm gonna hit this checkpoint, gonna wait for my meter to drain. Then from here, I'm gonna put out these fires, and now we have chaos control active, so let's use it. Flying ahead here through the level, we're gonna go all the way up to the top, and it'll put us right at the goal ring, making the Doom a very short and sweet level for us.
Maria, I'm glad that you're safe.
I don't know where Maria was when we were zooming through the Doom. I didn't really see her next to us in any way, but hey, we got her out safe, and that's all that matters.
Perfect.
Heading back into the Doom, let's go ahead and help out Maria here by completing the hero mission. The hero mission here in the Doom is to heal all 10 of the wounded gun soldiers. So this one sounds pretty simple on paper, but there is one big caveat to this mission that you have to keep in mind, and that is that there are no enemies that we can attack in this stage to build up our hero meter and to earn points on that said alliance. So we're gonna have to mainly focus on healing any gun soldiers that are in front of us to gain some hero points, and also put out these fires, as by putting out the fire around this area will also give us some extra score for our hero meter. Gonna want to avoid breaking anything around me along with attacking any of the gun soldiers, as that will affect my dark points and not my hero points. And since there's no enemies here to build up the hero score, the hero score A rank requirement is very low. We only need to get 4,500 points in total to get an A rank, which is really not that bad, if you want to be honest, especially if you're going out your way like I am here to put out all the fires, as that will help build up our hero gauge, which is a really helpful thing. Gonna be very careful avoiding these gun soldiers here, but I want to go in these rooms to build up my hero gauge, as I mentioned before. Although you gotta be careful when hitting the fire, because if you get hit and knock yourself into the fire like I did there, you won't be putting these out. Instead, you will just be disarming the flame without actually getting any points, which is not ideal in any fashion. So you want to be very careful how you approach fire. Here though, we built up enough for a meter to use chaos control, allowing us to zoom through the level and break through a wall without having to use any TNT, which does save a time, but it did hit things around me, adding up to my overall dark score, which is not ideal. You have to be very careful with chaos control in this stage due to how things work. You also have to be very careful trying to jump around these gun soldiers, because they only have a small amount of health. So any interaction with a gun soldier can actually kill them in this stage, which is really bad. But we can use these healing capsules to not just heal the gun soldiers for our mission, we can also use it against the enemies here to change their alliance and favor us, Shadow the Hedgehog, which is really ideal. The problem I have in this stage though is sometimes the enemies are just going to be in your way and you have no choice but to kill them, because you just can't do anything. And the worst part is really just the gun beetles, in my opinion. They are out of reach most of the time when it comes to trying to heal them. So you just kind of have to take the L and take out the beetle if you don't want to have any problems trying to move around the said stage here, which is not ideal. Thank you for shooting open that crate for me, because I can use that to my advantage and get myself some points without building up my dark gauge. Enemies shooting down objects will not factor towards your dark score, so use that to your advantage if you want to get yourself a free item. Here, I'm going to be very careful avoiding all the enemies here, trying to avoid also getting shot. Activate this elevator and ride our way up to the top, because up here is where we want to go for our next set of people to heal. There's actually 2 people at the top of this whole elevator sequence that we can heal up. So we need to ride these elevators as slow as they are to continue upwards in the level. And once we heal these soldiers, we gotta turn around, as going through the level, you will find a lot of alternate paths like this that really don't lead anywhere, and it's only just for a specific mission. Most of the time, you're either going this kind of a path for the hero mission or the dark mission. You don't have to go this way whatsoever if you're playing through the neutral mission, as I demonstrated last time around when we played through the Doom. I'm gonna be very careful not to get knifed by a gun soldier. Very brave for them to bring knives to a gunfight. I do have a assault rifle here I gotta shoot them with, but nah, it's fine. Just bring us some little knives. Gotta wait here a minute, because now I healed you guys. It's nice and all, but I do need that heal capsule because there are soldiers in the other room I also need to heal. And unfortunately, these capsules take a very long time to respawn, which is really annoying. The aim on these things are also kind of hard to get down as well, so I just like rub my face against these soldiers and then throwing the healing capsule, just because of how accurate you need to be with your shot. It's not ideal in any fashion. Here we could climb this pole up normally, which is very slow, or you can just jump your way up, constantly grab it, and rinse and repeat until you're at the top, which is what I prefer to do, if you want to be honest. It's just a much easier way to climb up. Gotta be very careful here not to land on a gun soldier, which is very easy to do by accident. Let's slide under that little gap. And right here, we got ourselves another gun soldier. So I'm going to make my way across here, grab myself a healing capsule. And if I can hurry, I could have catch the elevator, but unfortunately now I gotta wait because the elevator moved on its own. Now I'm just gonna sit here and wait things out. And eventually it will come back. Let me go ahead and jump here, which you gotta be really careful. When you're carrying an object in Shadow the Hedgehog, you may be able to jump with it, but your jump is very minor. You only go about a foot off the ground, so you gotta be very careful with your jump. But that's 8, as Maria's saying, of the gun soldiers healed. Only 2 more left. At this point, I can use Chaos Control to zoom through this whole section here and continue forward. But as Maria's saying, we did go past some soldiers and spawn on other ones with knives. That's great. Thanks for spawning me on top of guys with weapons. Wasn't expecting that, game. Let's just be careful now because we got guys up here with knives. I'm just gonna heal them up and wait here a moment for my heal capsule to come back. Now with that back, we'll grab it, make our way through this tunnel that the gun soldiers are coming out with their knives. And here, we got one of the researchers, as Maria's saying, heal him up, and now we only have 1 more soldier left that we need to heal. While we're here, let's go ahead and put out some of these fires to help build up our hero gauge a bit, giving us some more hero points to kind of balance out all those dark points we built up by using Chaos Control. Take this heal capsule into the next room, and here's your final soldier. And with that, the hero mission is complete.
I will protect the people of the Ark.
You're welcome, Maria. I saved all the people. Now come with me if you want to live.
Perfect.
Heading into the Doom once again, let's now complete the Dark mission, which has us teaming up with Black Doom to kill every single gun soldier here aboard the Ark. This mission is not that easy, if you want to be honest here, as there are 60 gun soldiers that we need to kill. But since there are no enemies we can kill in this stage to build up our hero gauge, we don't have to worry about killing an enemy by mistake, helping out the other allegiance. So we can just go gun-ho in this stage, no pun intended, and kill every single person we see, as that will be beneficial for our overall score. We don't want to be healing anyone, we don't want to be putting out any fires, we just want to destroy everything in our path and be chaotic evil. My favorite kind of evil. I'm going to keep my gun here, as while we do have a lot of small soldiers, we're going to have a lot of big soldiers as well to attack, which won't work with the egg vac. So I'm just going to hold on to my weapon for now that I have. Got myself a full-on Dark Gauge here, which is very convenient, but unfortunately I can't really use it to my advantage right now, so I'm just going to blow open this wall. Chaos Blast will not blow open any walls, which is a little disappointing. This thing can take out pretty much any enemy around your vicinity, but it can't open a wall? Not really that powerful of a move, if you ask me, am I right? I'm gonna hit that checkpoint, turn around here, and I'm just gonna go ahead, try to shoot down if I can. There you go. I wanna come up here just so I can destroy these crates, add up to my overall score a little bit more here. And also, if we can, I wanna grab me some of these rocket launchers so that I can shoot through these walls, and it will open up shortcuts, because right here, I can shoot this guy and build up some of my points. Now, we can continue on from here if we wanted to, but I don't recommend it, as we do have to come back through this path to get a whole bunch of soldiers. Continuing down that path, you can miss just shy of 12 soldiers, depending on how many you kill along the way. So I'm gonna opt not to go that way. So at this point, I'm actually going to ditch this weapon and give me back a proper gun. So that way I can actually take out some enemies without wasting too much ammo. Because once again, this stage has a lot of soldiers on foot here. So one shot will be enough to kill these guys a majority of the time. So having a standard gun sometimes is more beneficial. This guy looks like he's in some pain. Not just because of the bullet I shot him with, but because he's stuck inside of the elevator. And now I feel really bad being evil. Yeah, he'll be fine, I think. For now, we gotta continue moving forward, because as we've seen going through this upper section of the Doom in the hero mission, there's a couple gun soldiers up here that will try to attack us, so this is where we need to go in order to annihilate more of these said soldiers. Right here, we could ride the elevator up, but I do see a pole just conveniently just right in the middle here of this walkway, so I'm gonna grab it and use it to climb my way all the way to the top. They won't see me coming. That's right, take that knife, guys. You tried to stab me and Maria last time I came through here. Now you get to feel my wrath. Going through this path, I'll just use Chaos Blast at this point and take out everything in my path. By doing so, I'll get me a lot more points for the Dark Gauge as well, which is really convenient. And that's all we went in there for. We just went in that room to kill 2 gun soldiers with a giant blast of doom. And now let's get out of here. Get it? Blast of doom. We're in the Doom. It's a funny joke. Please laugh. I always kind of found it interesting how this level is named the Doom, because of how this is tying to Shadow's memory of what happened to Maria 50 years ago. Where aboard the Ark, there was a gun raid, and in the middle of the raid, that is where Maria dies. As in the middle of the raid, she gets shot by one of the gun soldiers, according to the intro cutscene here of this game. So we're actually playing through that said event, which we known about all the way back in Sonic Adventure 2, which was Shadow's debut game. And back then, we didn't really get the full amount of details as to what exactly happened to Maria, but it was heavily implied that she did die on the Ark due to the said gun raid. And this game confirms it even more by showing her getting shot, or at least implying she gets shot, in the intro cutscene for your story mode run through here of Shadow the Hedgehog, which is a very dark thing to show, especially since, keep in mind, this is still a children's game at the end of the day, even though it is rated E10+. E10+ means 10 or above, so 10-year-olds get to see someone get shot to death. Yeah, that's definitely rated E for kids, am I right? Or am I right? This is the weird thing about this game being rated E10. It's mainly because of the violence specifically, but there's a lot of tones in this game that definitely apply a little bit more than just E10. Some people can make the argument saying a game like this is more in the teen rating department just due to the amount of violence and gunplay in general. Just anything associated with guns, some people argue could actually raise the rating up all the way to a teen. Some people even argue all the way up to an M rating, meaning you're gonna be 17 years or older to play the game. So it's mainly because they don't show any violence, and technically us shooting all these different soldiers, we're not killing them per se, as these gun soldiers, they're still around on the field and they're talking to us, asking us to spare their lives. So we don't kill them, we just wound them. But, you know, in any other universe, this would technically just be death because of just how severe a gunshot is to anyone. So there are some questions about, are these really non-lethal bullets? Because that doesn't really seem to be the case. We have full-on assault rifles in this game, and we can see we are destroying the robots as they break into like a million pieces while exploding. So there's definitely some questions to be raised about the said violence level in a game like this, but at the end of the day, you just have to remember, it's a video game. Nothing about this is going to make sense, and nothing about it should be down into reality because all of it's fiction. Not a single thing about this game is real. I mean, how many hedgehogs do you know in real life that just run around with guns? If the answer is 0, you're a sane person, as that is not a thing in the real world. You never see a hedgehog with a weapon because a hedgehog can't wield one. So if we come up here, this is where the goal ring is. We don't want to go any further. There are no more soldiers up above, but we have 2 more soldiers left to take out. One of them is right here with a shield, so use your homing attack to hit him. The other guy, we can just shoot real quick, miss our shot, try it again, and there you go. That is the Dark mission complete.
Now you know what true suffering is, you pathetic humans.
That's all the gun soldiers defeated. Now I made them pay for what they've done to Maria, and also save Maria in the process. It's a win-win.
Perfect.
Alright, heading back into the Doom one final time for us to get those 5 secret keys and see what lies behind the secret door. So, immediately starting off here in the Doom, our first key is in the very first room here, where our first gun laboratory soldier is down, needing to get healed. So we're gonna just take a gun here and shoot the said switch down below to activate this elevator, and as we can see, the key is right above us, but it is out of reach. So there's no way for us to get the key here on this said platform, but instead, we wait for the elevator to go back down, just like so, and get on top of the roof. Now when the elevator goes up, we'll have more than enough height to grab the said key. So that is our first key collected. The second key isn't that far off from the first key's location, but this one is a little tricky, as I've tried getting this next key in so many different ways, and the only way I found you can get this key is by manipulating the spin dash in this game to get a lot of extra height. So here I'm going to go ahead and use the spin dash to get a lot of height off of one of my jumps and get to the very top of this said room, which has a key here up in the rafters. I've tried getting that key in many other different ways, but I've only really found it possible to just use our spin dash to go straight up to grab it. But besides the point, our next key is right next to the second key here. Just grab TNT, blow up the wall on your right, and it's just chilling in that said room, which we saw in an earlier run here of the Doom. Now, our next key is past the second checkpoint here. I'm going to go ahead and just head over to our left. And here, if we manipulate our camera around, we can see that there is a pulley that takes us right up above. And next to this extra life, the key is sitting right on top of this giant fan. And with that key collected, our final key is around where the third checkpoint is located. So we got to take this upper path to get to where that said checkpoint area is to make our way over to that key. And I see the gun soldiers are still having a very bad day here on board of the Ark, because everyone seems to just get stuck in elevators here. It's not ideal, doesn't look fun, actually looks very unpleasant and painful, but he'll be fine. The last guy was fine, I think. Continue making our way forward here. Just take care of the beetles in your way. At this point, we could have just cut ahead to where the said key is, but it's not that far away, and to know where to go for these said checkpoints is kind of confusing a level like the Doom, because this is a very maze-like level, and because of that, it is very easy to get lost here. in this level, and I've done that plenty of times. But here in this room specifically, we do not want to destroy all these green boxes. We want to use them to climb straight up and then destroy those green boxes on the said wall up here on the rafter to get your 5th and final key. So now with this key collected, we can go ahead and make our way over to where the secret door is located and see what lies behind it. Now we gotta go a little bit further into the stage, so jumping down here from where we were at earlier, let's go ahead and go to our checkpoint and head back over to checkpoint 1, as our secret door is actually pretty early on in this said stage. So we're gonna just go ahead, get underneath the platform here once again, and we're gonna take this shortcut here that had opened up earlier from these gun soldiers, going to where key number 2 is located. Up here on these rafters, there is a switch. You hit the switch, and it doesn't really look like anything happened right away, but if we head back over to our checkpoint, we're gonna go ahead and go over to where checkpoint 3 is located. Because you may have noticed in this area that there was a gun container here guarding one singular ring. If you collect this ring, then you activate this little platform that acts as a shortcut from one end of the arc to another. This area here, you're only able to access once you have the 5 secret keys. So this is a little bit of a secret pathway, and this is going to take us from the 3rd checkpoint all the way to the final area here in the Doom where the goal ring is located. Then from this point, all we'll need to do is just climb up to the top of the said room that will be put into here in the Doom, climb up to the top and touch that said goal ring, and then we'll be done with the level. So as you can imagine, this secret path is perfect for you playing through the neutral mission. It's not an ideal pathway to take for either the hero or the dark missions here, because you're just skipping both objectives going this specific pathway. So it's not recommended to take this path outside of the neutral mission, but it is a pretty massive shortcut, take you all the way from basically the beginning of the level to the very end. And that's pretty much that. But you may have saw there on the wall that there was a map of the Doom that you can actually refer to. So there are times, as I mentioned earlier, you can easily get lost here in the Doom because it's very open-ended, very maze-like, and it's just kind of hard to figure out where you're going on a first playthrough. You'll definitely be stumbling around a lot in this said level, but if you manage to find your way to a map in an area, you can get an idea of where you're at here in the Doom. I do wish, though, that the maps were a little bit more apparent in this level and they were a little bit easier to understand. Alas, that is not the case. So while the stage may have a map, it is not the most useful map in existence. But that was the secret keys here, all collected up in the Doom, and we got to see the secret door path. So one of the more useful secret doors here in Shadow the Hedgehog, if you ask me. But wait, there is one more thing we need to talk about here in the Doom, and it's a little bit of an oversight when it comes to the secret pathway you get from the secret door. So without any weapons equipped on Shadow, you can do a set of melee attacks by hitting the B button. And if you do a kick attack, rubbing against this said container on the moving platform, Shadow's hitbox will clip into the container just enough to activate the trigger for the secret path here to activate. So this level has a really useful secret door because it opens up this whole secret pathway. But because of the fact that you can just activate the secret pathway without needing any of the keys just by manipulating Shadow's hitbox, yeah, needless to say, the keys are really useful in this stage. But they're also not required because you can just bypass them altogether by using a well-timed set of melee attacks in front of that said container to clip Shadow's hitbox ever so slightly into the said trigger. So, needless needless to say, once you know how to do this little trick, you're never going to be needing to collect the keys here in the Doom ever again. But for real this time, that is everything in the Doom. We got ourselves all the keys. We got ourselves all the missions complete here. So we're ready to move on with our next stage here in the slightly dark halfway. So let's get out of the Doom and continue forward with our story.
Perfect.
Mantis platoon, Hedgehog reporting in. Primary target and the girl have been located. Acquiring targets. En route to intercept and destroy.
What the?
Please, Shadow, help me.
Humans, willing to sacrifice their own when overcome by greed. They are a foolish race.
Those heartless humans. Get out of my way.
This is Hedgehog. Target has been sighted. Proceeding to engage and neutral.
Now go. Bring swift judgment upon these humans for their trespassing.
So now we are fighting Hedgehog, the boss here after the Doom when you go through the neutral route. What we want to do here is just homing attack this guy until we break off one of his grenade launchers here on the side. Now we can pick up the weapon ourselves, and we have ourselves his rocket launcher. So let's go ahead and use the said rocket launcher here, and we can even use this to avoid his shockwave move by flying over it. Once you have yourself the rocket launcher, this fight becomes a lot easier, because now you don't have to homing attack the guy anymore. All you need to do is just get your lineup correct with the said rockets, target the Hedgehog, and just fire away. By doing this, you will do a lot of damage to this boss in a very short amount of time. So we're just going to keep on firing our said rockets at the guy. Not have to worry about the rings here because we get more than enough rings around the arena, and we just keep on picking up the same ring we keep on losing. And with that, Hedgehog is defeated.
We're losing. Ah!
How dare you harm Maria, disgusting humans. Out of my sight.
Now with Hedgehog defeated, that marks the end of our time here aboard the Ark.
Perfect.
And since we now have defeated Hedgehog, we're done with everything related to the Doom. All 3 of its missions, all 5 of the keys collected, a secret door key skip, and also the boss here, Hedgehog, have all been completed, and we got the max rank on every single thing, so we can finally move on with our next stage here in the slightly dark pathway. And we'll be doing so in the next episode. Next time on Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog, we'll continue further down here into the slightly dark pathway. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.